Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Welcome. My name is Obeng Darko. Welcome. Good evening. Um, it's another day I want to share with you today. Choosing your startup team. Choosing your startup team. There was a time I was having this interaction with my friend, and we were discussing what it takes for business to succeed. And it was so clear that the team that you start the business with will have a very, will have much impact on on your success or on your failure. If you're going to succeed, the people or the person that you choose as a partner, or the one that you choose as your first employee, the one that you choose who you will share with the dream, the daily activities, they go a long way to decide whether you are going to succeed in your business or you're going to fail. So I'm going to share with you some of the things that I think will help you to choose. Maybe if you're some, the kind of partner or the kind of person or team or people who who will who will work with you for you to achieve the success that you want. So, welcome. My name is Obeng. Welcome. And the thing that I will say is that you should look for somebody who has long-term perspective of what it takes to build a business, of what it takes to go through the startup, stages and the things that when you're building a business you have to go through. You don't just choose somebody who is just looking for, maybe somebody who is looking for, you know, money to eat, or they don't know what they're doing, so they just become part of you. Or just because he's somebody that you know, just because he's your friend, just because even is a wife or maybe a child, because it's going to take a lot of effort. And human beings as we are made of all kind of things, very complex in nature. And if you're not strong, because a lot of your learnings, a lot of the things that you're going to learn will come from this particular decision as to who you get on board with your business. And most businesses don't just fail because it was a bad idea, not just because it was bad timing, but a lot of the times it's because the people who came together at the start of the business were not really people who should have been together for that kind of business, for that particular business. It may not necessarily mean that the people or that individual is not good as a person, no, but maybe they are not just good with you as a team and working on this particular business or project. So the dynamics are a bit complex, but you have to look for some things. When you go around the VC10 area, people who sit around to drink alcohol, to drink beer, potassium and things like that, you can see that, they like the friendship, they like the the way they see themselves as brothers. Or maybe when you see people going to watch football, things like that, people have cliques. And when it comes to fun and entertainment, yes, it may work. But when it comes to something that you have to put together to get results, like a business, like a startup, like, this journey of business, it you have to be deliberate about it. Usually most people are not deliberate. And if it were to be, maybe if it was your first business, it's likely that you were not deliberate, So you have to be deliberate about it, because it can put you in on a fast lane to success, or it can put you on a dragging lane to failure. And so one of the things is that you have to do it intentionally. You have to really look at it like this is the business, and maybe I'm starting a cocoa farm, maybe I'm starting a maize farm, or maybe I'm starting what kind of business that whatever business that you're starting. There's this statement all the time that that these Africans don't know. At the other time, I even heard it categorically that we don't understand partnership. That's what somebody said, that we don't understand partnership. So if you want to do business, just go alone. And I think they have valid argument, because the the data is out there, the statistics proof that our people don't know how to work really together. It's just there. We start, and we start to fight. We start, and once we start to see some success, we become cocky and egoistic, and we refuse to listen. Generally, we Ghanaians are a bit, very, I think, very, what is the English word? We are very, what is it? So I think we're emotional too much, and we are picky. And we are, I don't know, like the things that we don't have to, the things that we have to keep ourselves to focus on the main agenda to get results, we get petty. And if you're going to choose a business partner, even if you're employing somebody in your first business, look for people who don't become so petty and picky and so selfish, and focus on the trivialities than the main agenda. So whether you're choosing a partner, or you're choosing, because really, if it's a startup and it's and it starts to make sense, and you want to get somebody involved, whether the person is an employee or a partner, really it's just about the same, because the business is not staged. So you're going to deal with that person, that individual, daily basis, and friction will come. And so if they are that petty, if they that soaked in this little thing, they are angry, little thing they're asking for, you didn't consult me, why you those kind of things that people have. If you focus on those things, your business will not work. Whether it's an employee who you pick, or whether it's a partner who you pick. So look at the cultural biases. We don't trust, we don't believe that we should work together. We don't even know how to work together. We don't want to share. Most people have not developed themselves where they will be so much content with that which is theirs. When you partner with somebody, when you agree with somebody to work on something, usually when the proceeds come, they start to change. They start to look at what they are giving you, and they start to double think. You will not be that much successful if you pick people like that. If you told you, look, you have to do it deliberately, you have to do it intentionally. Look for somebody that you can, you're not sure, but at least if you do your homework well, it will not be a surprise to you. But you don't just jump on this with anybody. It's a business. A lot of things will happen before it starts to make sense. So if you don't do that, somebody that you were so nice with, somebody that was a friend, was a brother, will become an enemy, because you didn't do it with the right intention. So I think that is a bit easier if you're able to pull a good team together. If you're able to pull, whether it's a partner or it's an employee, if you're able to pull a very good team together, you will succeed with less stress than when you try to take everything upon yourself. But then when you are trying to pull a team together, to make sure you are also understand that people are going to contribute, and so you are going to share the booty, and the pride as well. So you just have to know that you need a lot of enlightenment, you need a lot of courage, you need a lot of development for you to work with somebody on a goal, on a business, to get results. It's not just anything. that gets results. You should also carry the risk level of people. Most people don't want to make mistake at all. Most people don't want to lose anything at all. Most people will never take responsibility for the losses. So when you are working with them, when you say you are partners or they are part of you, they are only part of you when it's good. But when it starts to not make sense, they will blame you for, so you have to look for maturity. And I don't know how you're going to look for that, but at least that should be in your mind that if I'm looking for a partner, I'm looking for somebody who is also ready to count their losses and look into the future, because there will be losses. There will be things that they didn't plan for. There will be those things. So, and you will need, you as an individual, you need a lot of courage, a lot of maturity to work with a partner, particularly in a startup. Because when it's a startup, you're testing everything. You're testing the idea, you're testing yourself, you're testing the environment, you're testing almost everything. And anything that you're testing, that is not sure. Anything at all can happen. So if you don't have somebody who is broad-minded, you're going to delay. Then it will be better for you to go alone, than to go with anybody who is wrong. But so my name is Obeng Darko. I'm talking about choosing a partner, choosing your startup team or a partner, whether it's an employee. Look for people like that. Don't just look for the skill. Let's say you're looking for, maybe you are building a software company, so you're looking for somebody who can program. And they could be very good programmers, and still they could be very terrible in the way they work with people. And so you want to strike a balance. If they cannot work with people, then no matter what product you develop, they will destroy it. So you look for somebody, not just, and you're also looking for somebody who will also complement the things that you're not good in. You don't want to pick somebody who is just like you. They need to be trouble. They will be expert at something. They will have some expertise at something, and you also have expertise of another thing. And when you come together like that, if you are able to build the relationship, if you're able to build the human side, the social side, then you'll be able to build a business. Because and you also have to look for somebody who understands, who will seem to understand this journey, which can be lonely and which you can easily give up even if it's working. Because building a business is work. It's very tough work because you're building everything by yourself. You're building the structure, you're building everything by yourself. It's not like when you just become a CEO of a built company. Let's say there's a multinational company somewhere, they say they'll come and become a CEO or managing director or something. That one, a lot of systems are in place, a lot of things are in place. You're just going to manage. Now, when it's a startup, you have to build everything to manage it. And that is so much different from the one with anything built. So the kind of mindset that you have to have is different. And the kind of mindset that your team must have should also be different. Your team should not be people who are just looking for today food to eat. You tell them we are going to work extra and they are grumbling, and they are talking behind. They don't want to sacrifice anything for the business. You don't have that. They are not the people who you expose anything to, and the next minute somebody else is hearing it. You show them another connection and they go behind you. They must have some level of credibility. They must have some level of integrity. So choose people like that. Don't just be in a hurry to just choose anybody. Just because some people just choose a business partner because they bring money. They bring money, but it's not the money that will build the business. If they bring money, they should also be able to work with you, especially if they're part of the business. If they're going to be involved in the daily activities of the business, then you must look for some things. So for me, I think that in a startup, there should be some level of friendship, and there should be that level of respect for each other's pluses and sometimes even for each other's negatives. So you have to be broad-minded to be looking for those. Don't just be happy to say, oh, and especially when people are fresh guys, when they are starting, they're looking at two partner, 3 people, 4 people, 6 people. That's a recipe for something that is not going to work. That's a recipe for something that is not going to work. Why? Because a lot of people think that business, when you start, guys, the next minute you're making money. So they come with all. And once they are part of the business, they're going to tell their friends, they're going to tell their family, they're going to you are going to hear all kind of things. The thing has not worked, and people are already taking ownership and positions. So you also have to be very much patient in your approach. You have to be very much compassionate and candid, because you hear things. You hear things. Even if it's an employee, you hear things. You hear things that will make you not so much happy, but you're trying to choose a team. So choosing a team for your startup, choosing a team for your business. Look for that. Go beyond friendship, actually. There should be friendship, but go beyond it. The fact that the guy was a classmate or your floormate or something is not enough. If you want to build a business that can grow, become productive. If you want to build a business that is not going anywhere, no problem. But if you want to do something, and I think that the reason you want to build a business is because you want this thing to work. And so if you want it to work, then what is informing who you are choosing to become part is so critical, because then it takes some things for things to work. If you don't find those things that make things to work, they're not going to work. And you know the things that make things to work. Any idea that you pick, any business that you want to build, the things that will make that business work, there will be hard work, there will be discipline, there will be sincerity, there will be persistence, there will be determination. You are going to try, face, consistency. You have to be resilient. These are attributes that will make anybody who picks an idea and try to develop it into business. Now, these are attributes, you must see it in your core team, in your partner. You must see this. If they are not determined, you have no business. If they are wasteful, you have no business. If they are not if they can't think far, you have no business. If they think as somebody just waiting for everything to work, for you to just, they're there, they show up just for the money, no, it's not going to work. At the startup stage, it's not going to work. You need, even if it's employee, you need somebody who will pick the business as theirs and work with the directions, work with the discussion. You must have respect for people who also work with you at that level. You should know how to address them, how to talk to them, not to shout and just insult people like that. Because it's a startup, sometimes things don't just go the way you want it to go. And if you should be able to manage your emotions and keep your head up if things are not going as you want them to go, because then you can just break up, and just say things that you regret because you're going through a lot. Let's say you are expecting the payment to come in and it's not coming, and people are calling for money. If you don't grow and if you don't mature, you just say things because you're under pressure. You just treat people like they should not be treated that way. So you have to keep a lot of things in place. So choosing your team, choosing your startup team. Go against the odds that they say that we can work together. I think that we can work together if we are intentional about it, if you grow, if you mature, if you learn, if you expose ourselves. Because working together with people is a skill. Building a team is a skill. Seeing somebody that you can pick to say that you can do this in this business is a skill. You have to have an eye for it. You have to look beyond how people look. You have to look for some qualities in people. So you go anywhere, you're looking for the next talent. You're talking to people, you're looking for them, because you never know who can be part of your team. So you are going anywhere, you are just looking for talent. You're looking for, because it's scarce for you to get quality people who will be able to work with a startup. It's very scarce. A lot of people are there, but very few people have that strength. Very few people have that kind of mindset to work with people at this level where it is not nice. Maybe the business is even in your single room. You have a single room, the business is there. and they have to come there and work with you. Um, Maybe the business is not even making much. It's just you're just hopeful, and you need a lot of it. Actually, you need a lot of hope to push yourself through through the processes. And if you get people who are negative and pessimistic and very cynical, the atmosphere will be corrupt. You will not build a business culture. You will not build a startup culture that will push and bring the best out of you. So you're not looking for somebody with so much negative. They're always looking at why it's not going to work, why it's going to fail. If you have a team like that, you're not going anywhere. If you have a team like that who is always, any idea that comes up, they are shooting it before it even lands. That will be very difficult. That will be very difficult for a startup to work. So look at the energy, look at the atmosphere that we have created. You need a lot of hope, a lot of faith, a lot of passion, a lot of pessimism to make sure that this business will pick. But if the environment, if the culture is that dragging, it is going to be very difficult for you to build that business. And so the success of it is the people who come around, the success of the idea, the success of the startup. If you're going to see some results in the first 2, 3, 4 years, 6 months, or you're not going to see anything, is going to depend on the kind of people that you surround yourself with this business. If they are not trustworthy, the business is going to delay. If they are selfish, the business is not going anywhere. If they just look for if there are people who are always talking badly about you, the business is not going to work. If they are just people who are just going to, they will not bring any idea, but they are going to shoot down all the ideas that are coming, the business is not going to work. If they're wasteful with money, it's not going to work. If they waste time, it's not going to work. If they just sit down and wait for things to come, it's not going to work. There are things that you are going to see. So you turn it to the other side. If the people are diligent, if they are, if they are purposeful, if they are intentional, if they want to, you can see the energy. They want to be part of this for it to work. Those things, it will work. It will work. That's why when you're going to look for, they say that when they are going to look for money to do any business, they look for not just the prospects of the idea, but they look for the people involved in the business, the way, their passion, their energy, their expertise, the way they look at life, the way they look at the business, the way they think. Those people, once the people who are trying to sponsor the business or invest in the business see those elements, they know that the business will, because it's a force. When the team is strong, it's the force. That is what drives the business. What drives the business is the team, the strength, the culture that you have created, the environment, the mindset, the passion, the energy that the team exhibits. So if those things are not there, the business is not going to work. The business is not going to work. So choosing your startup team. Choosing your startup team. Understand that it's better to have a team if you're intentional about it. And you look for qualities. Look for qualities beyond just the technical skills. Sorry. Look for qualities beyond just the technical skills. Look for their maturity as well. Look for their perception. Look at their exposure. Look at their selflessness. Because some people can be part of it, and once the thing starts to work, they break it. So look for things like that. Look for personal maturity in that individual that you want to be part of your business. Look for those, because without that, the energy will not work. Any business that you see doing well, the people, go and check the people who were part when you started. Look at the kind of people who were there. Sometimes it's failing. Once you change the team, it starts to make sense. Why? Because you change people who were not there to work, and you brought people who were there to work. You change the negatives, and you brought in the people who were positive, who were optimistic. You chose the people who were diligent than those who were just lazy. You chose people who were ready to work to make sure that this idea works. You chose people who were not just looking for their personal comfort, to people who were looking at winning together as a team. They believe in the idea. They must believe in the business that it will work. They must believe in the idea that it will work. If you get those, and you must have some high level of openness as to the information and the flow of it. Uh, if people are hiding information and trying to keep some, it's not going to work. So there are things that will, you don't want to see, and that's why they say that partnership don't work that much. It's because of these things. So the moment you start to deal with those, and possibly, or likely, or probably, you are able to get somebody who has these things in appreciable measure, you'll start to see that the business will work. Business will work. So thank you very much for watching. My name is Obeng Darko. Thank you very much.